am the Irish guy, and I know Liverpool fans listening to the sentence I'm about to speak, I know, okay? I know it will feel unnatural to hear. It will feel a bit like I've just told you to go and dig up your grandmother and use her as a kite. It'll feel a bit like I've just suggested that you go and eat a bowl of your mum's teeth. But lads, Liverpool Chiefs should right now be flying to Germany and camping on Xabi Alonso's lawn. Lads, it is always terrifying trying to handpick a successor to replace a legend of a coach. Like when Sir Alex Ferguson quit Manchester United in 2013. I mean, the fear for years, all throughout the 90s and 2000s was, who can the club possibly get to fill his shoes when he finally decides to waltz off into retirement? I mean, the club didn't know what to do. Guys, but back in 2002, they were so confused. They actually tried to take Arsene Wenger out of Arsenal, which would have been all sorts of weird. Arsenal and Manchester United were sworn enemies. I mean, what? I mean, you think Arsenal fans gave Wenger grief towards the end, right? Oh, no. If you become Manchester United boss, I genuinely believe the likes of DT and Troops would have tried to break into his house to stick a grenade in his fridge. Yeah, next time he goes to make a sandwich, he'll be picking chunks of his face out of the wall. I remember when the favourites for the Manchester United job were Mark Hughes and Steve Bruce. Yeah, fast forward into the future, one of them just lost his job at Bradford in League 2, while the other one was binned off by West Brom last year, and now I think most football fans wouldn't even trust him to babysit their dog. I think most people have begun to realize that Bruce is about as tactically clued in as he busted Michael Wave. Even Arsenal, when trying to replace Wenger, were initially considering either Patrick Vieira or Thierry Henry. Yeah, within 3 years, both blokes would be getting interviewed for the Bournemouth job. Whatever about Vieira, I don't think Henry's coaching reputation ever really recovered from nearly getting Monaco relegated. Arsenal initially offered the job to Mikel Arteta back in 2018. Yeah, it looks like a great decision now, but back then, all he'd done was just spend a few years eating spaghetti on Guardiola's lap. He wasn't exactly hot property. So Liverpool, they absolutely struck gold when they went from Brendan Rodgers to Jurgen Klopp in 2015. But what happens when he leaves? It has to be an absolute major worry for the club. Klopp is a man who's probably going to have a statue outside Anfield, right? But who is going to replace him? Lads, there is only one name. It was supposed to be Steven Gerrard, right? I mean, after he turned Rangers into the Invincibles, yeah, in the same way Brian Robson was a born Manchester United manager, right? Then he went and muddled his way through bang average jobs at Middlesbrough, Bradford, West Brom, Sheffield United, and Thailand under 23s. Now though, most Manchester United fans would probably prefer their own mum in the Old Trafford dugout than him, and Gerrard absolutely ruined his reputation at Aston Villa. And not only that, but Unai Emery, with every passing week, really is showing out to be more and more of a coaching eggplant, and he's now banished to Al Ettifaq. So I really do believe that his hopes of ever becoming a Liverpool manager are absolute fried egg toast, and surely he must know that. Does he really think he's going to land a monster European job by whatever he does at Al Ettifaq? Yeah, I think European chairmen pay about as much attention to the Saudi Pro League as I do to anything that happens on Love Island. Yeah, never seen an episode, would sooner smear jam in my eye. The terrifying thing to note for Liverpool fans is that there is only one candidate for the job. Only one. Xabi Alonso. There is no other option. At least for Manchester United, when Fergie left, there were three massive, huge options staring at them in the face. One was Pep Guardiola, another was Jose Mourinho, and the other was Jurgen Klopp. And they instead chose to go out and get the Everton coach instead. You know, the bloke who hadn't won nothing since an egg and spoon race at school. The guy who had about as much experience of dealing with superstars as I do with telling celebrities what to do. He was and is a good manager, but come on. He had the star appeal of a bowl of cornflakes soaked in doggy wee. Imagine him trying to convince Cesc Fabregas to leave his boyhood Barcelona to come and take instructions from him. A man with less personality than a brick. It would be like me inviting Snoop Dogg to my birthday party. Yeah, I don't think he's really going to want to come and eat pizza in a bin. So Man United had three obvious world-class options on the table. But Liverpool, there's only one man who suits them. Okay, maybe two. Maybe Julian Nagelsmann too. Although, international management is usually reserved for the coaching losers. It's usually an old man's profession. Anyone under the age of 45 who is an international manager, I would worry about them. The same way I would worry about that weird bloke on the back of the bus who won't let anyone see what he's watching on his phone. What are you looking at, creep? And why is there photos of Jim Carrey in the nude? Honestly, young managers like Roberto Martinez, when he took the Belgium job at 43, they usually take an international job because they know they won't get a top job at club level. So the fact that after one painful sacking at Bayern Munich, Nagelsmann has joined the international purgatory swamp with Germany before he's even turned 37, It's worrying. It was only 2 years ago he was the most expensive manager of all time after Bayern paid £21.7 million to take him from RB Leipzig. So honestly, if he fails with Germany at Euro 2024, this wonderkid manager's hype could be drowned in a bowl of sour milk before he has to run out and beg for a job at Fenerbahce or West Ham. Xabi Alonso is the only man for Liverpool. The only one. Go on, name me an alternative. There isn't one. It's really in vogue in football to appoint ex-players as your manager right now for some weird reason. I'm not sure why it's so in fashion, but it is. It's the football equivalent to skinny jeans. You know, the tight clothes which are a fertility doctor's nightmare. It's like these clubs are so desperate of some sort of tenuous connection to the past. Even Man City tried to sign Pep Guardiola in 2005. I mean, to be fair, so did Wigan. I can only imagine at the time, he must have had legs like cement. Can you imagine Pep Guardiola listening to tactical instructions from Paul Jewell, someone who within 3 years would finish a Premier League campaign on just 11 points, and it would traumatize the world with a nasty videotape? If Pep had joined Wigan, the best thing Jewell could have done was just let him take the training sessions. But Christ above, Pep Guardiola trying to get through to Jimmy Bullard, some class clown who probably used to do something every morning that was really wacky just for attention. Like, I don't know, going through the McDonald's drive-thru on the back of a cow. But listen, Alonso is a Liverpool legend. He scored in the Champions League final win over AC Milan in 2005. He had 5 glorious years at Anfield before Rafa Benitez inexplicably tried to replace this world star with Gareth Barry. It made about as much sense as breaking up with your beloved wife to ask your rat-faced cousin on a date. Alonso said back in 2015 that managing Liverpool was a dream of his. Although he thought Gerrard would be the manager first. Yeah, that's not happening. Right now, Alonso is an up-and-coming managerial superstar. After leaving Liverpool, he went on to cement playing legend status at Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, winning 10 trophies, including the Champions League. He also hoovered up the World Cup, 2 European Championships with Spain. It was the perfect post-Liverpool career. This man who was learned under the minds of Rafa Benitez, Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, Pep Guardiola. I mean, can you imagine if he'd instead just got that move to Arsenal that he wanted in 2008? Sure, it would have been a nice little midfield partnership with Fabregas, but his trophy cabinet would have been about as empty as a homeless man's fridge. But not only is there an aura about this man for what he achieved as a player, but he's played his coaching career fairly low-key, but sensibly. Working as a Real Madrid youth coach? I mean, it never really happens in England, but in Spain, coaching the reserve team for one of the big boys is actually a bit of an honor. In England, no, not really. I mean, I guess Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coached the Man United under 21s for a bit, but did he get the Man United job when Fergie left? No, he was just rewarded with a podgy gig in Norway with moles. But people like Zinedine Zidane and Pep Guardiola have spent a few years working with the B teams of those giants in Spain before being able to grasp their huge monster opportunity. It's almost like an apprenticeship for 1 or 2 years. Although, to be fair, absolute legendary icon Raul has been the Real Madrid B team manager for nearly 2,000 days. He has stayed in that job without a promotion for way too long. Oh, spread your wings and fly, Raul. You just know he's desperate for Ancelotti's job, to a point where he's probably now so impatient he's considering whether or not to slip some broken glass in his food. I mean, come on, this year alone, he's been forced to turn down Villarreal and Leeds. I mean, Raul swapping the Bernabeu for Leeds. Weirdly, he wouldn't be the first Raul to do that. Well, come on, Raul, just go! Take the plunge! I mean, Rafa Benitez and Julian Lopetegui, they paid their dues with the Real Madrid B team, then went on to have a career, and finally returned to take the senior job. So, it's fine. Go! Maybe you can take the Leverkusen job when Alonso finally leaves. I mean, it's not like you haven't lived in Germany before. But yeah, Alonso. He moved on to coaching the Real Sociedad B team, honing and carving his craft, even turning down a tempting job at Borussia Mönchengladbach to just stay coaching the children. And now, a year ago, Xabi Alonso did what Thomas Tuchel was too scared to do. He accepted a job with a struggling Bayer Leverkusen, a team who were in the Bundesliga relegation zone, sitting 17th in the league with just 1 win from 8 matches, despite finishing 3rd the previous season. They were a complete mess. It was an absolute crisis club. Yeah, fast forward a year, and they're top of the league. He took a relegation threatened Leverkusen to the verge of a Europa League final in his first season. The man's tactics are interesting. He plays a 3-4-2-1, with the game plan being that 5 players cover while the other 5 attack. He has Granit Xhaka scanning and surveying the pitch, playing as a deep-lying playmaker, something that I believe Trent Alexander-Arnold can be. I mean, surely that is his next evolution. For the sake of his career, this is a man who should be playing in an England midfield too, with Declan Rice, with Jude Bellingham as the number 10. Trust me, it would work. Trent has the passing range and the technique of Alonso. They're actually very similar players. It's just Alexander-Arnold, for some reason, has been asked to play right back. I believe that Trent is what Alonso would have been if he was a fullback. Absolutely blistering, sizzling technique. But with all the defensive thoughts of Daffy Duck, honestly, Netflix devoted an entire episode on David Beckham's documentary to that amazing, impossible goal from his own half. Yeah, for Liverpool, Alonso did that twice against Newcastle and Luton. What's all the fuss about? Liverpool need to act, and they need to act now. Alonso is hot property. If he pulls off the unthinkable miracle and manages to get Leverkusen to win their first ever Bundesliga title, then it's game over. Reports have come out to say that he has a clause in his contract that allows him to join any of Liverpool, Real Madrid, or Bayern Munich as early as next summer. Lads, Ancelotti is quitting Real next year to go off and become the manager of Brazil, which makes all sorts of sense. Because ironically, back in his Chelsea days, he replaced Luis Felipe Scolari, the World Cup winning Brazil superstar coach who tried to samba up Stamford Bridge by signing Deco and trying to buy Robinho. Well, as the ironic thing is that he was grinding out 0-0 draws at home to Newcastle and Hull and scrapping last-minute home wins over Stoke. Yeah. Then Ancelotti came in, and in an era where Italian coaches were deemed to be stuffy, rigid defensive nightmares, well, Chelsea looked far more Brazilian under him. They scored 140 goals in his debut season. 140! Wow. But yeah, you just know that Alonso is top of Real's list. You know Spanish football are going to want to market El Clasico as being a tactical duel between Xabi and Xavi. Two absolute midfield linchpin winners who used to play against each other. Two world champions who always looked like obvious managers when they were players. But I want to see Alonso head-to-head in a title race with his childhood best friend. Alonso and Arteta were two little boys who used to build sandcastles together on San Sebastian Beach. They were childhood and teenage buddies. Although Arteta didn't actually join Alonso when he went to go and spend a summer in County Meath, staying with some old couple on a school exchange program where he learned English and played GAA. I mean, can you imagine a 15-year-old Alonso milking cows on a farm in Meath and begging the local Collini for a kiss? And lads, you know what's strange? Many years ago, when I was a lot younger, way before YouTube, I actually interviewed the guy Alonso stayed with on the phone. I haven't listened to this in years, but let's listen to this together.
Well, how long did Xabi stay with you for?
A week.
How was his Irish? Was it alright? Yeah, the English. The English.
Oh, come on, it's nice to see Arteta going head-to-head against his mentor now, right?
Oh, it's so cute!
But chucking Alonso into that title race with Liverpool, it would actually be incredible to watch. These two have known each other so long, they can probably both remember each other wetting the bed, so to be chucked into a pressure cooker of a Premier League title race. I want to see that, but Liverpool need to act fast. Football is all about timing. If Sir Alex Ferguson had bowed out in 2012, Man United could have sealed the deal for Guardiola. It's just he announced in January 2013, halfway through Fergie's last season, that he was going to join Bayern Munich in the summer. But if Fergie had announced his intention to leave even just 1 year earlier, United could have then sealed the deal for Pep, which would have changed the whole landscape of football. It might have prevented them from having an absolute decade of pain. Honestly, for the next 10 years, Man City would have just bounced from coach to coach to coach. They'd have been like what Chelsea once were. Honestly, if it weren't for Guardiola, I reckon City would have bounced between the likes of Thomas Tuchel, Antonio Conte, and even Brendan Rodgers. And they wouldn't have won half as much. I'm not saying Klopp deserves to walk, but what's the alternative? If he stays until the end of his contract in 2026, and Alonso has since gone on to win the Champions League with Real Madrid, cementing himself as the future dominant manager in this scene, then it's too late. While Liverpool are forced to splutter around for the next mid-table wonder like Kieran McKenna or Enzo Maresca. Let's not forget, lads, the last time you were on the lookout for a new manager, Gary Monk was a contender for the job. Yeah, now that I reminded you of that, you're probably now wiping vomit off your chin. Back in 2012, the candidates were Roberto Martinez and Frank de Boer. Well, Liverpool, Xabi Alonso is your get-out-of-jail-free card. He is the man to replace Klopp. He is the only man. He just is. If you don't act next summer, you're going to lose your chance forever. And that might just destroy your club when Klopp does leave. It will be your David Moyes moment. And how depressing is that? Anyway, that's it for the 11 goals. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? What do you think? Am I talking waffle? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, subscribe. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.